Hello, happy Monday. It is so wonderful to be back with you. My apologies for the couple week delay. We here at Dataspire were like totally heads down, working really hard, submitting a couple of really exciting grant proposals and woo, fingers crossed that they get funded so we can do this awesome work that we are proposing to bring to you and your students to make teaching with data easier for your students. But like all grant proposals, we put in a ton of work and then we just have to wait for many months to hear what happens and if the review committee thinks it's as exciting as we do. And so we are just crossing all of our fingers in odd numbers and all of the urban legends and all those things. But so thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding as we took some time off to make sure we got those proposals submitted with all of the awesome bits in the budget to bring to you and your colleagues. So we're back. And I'm super excited to share out and talk about this, how do we actually make data accessible to all of our learners across the variety of languages that they are using? And when it comes to our quantitative data, our numbers, our numeric data, that kind of thing, it should be a no-brainer, right? I mean, numbers are numbers, regardless of what language we use, except for the fact that there is all the surround of those numbers. And we here at Dataspire, when we are putting together our strategies and our tips of how to translate research of how kids learn with data into practical, tangible things you can bring into your classroom, it is shocking how often what those strategies are and what the research is showing really aligns with pedagogical steps, teacher moves, instructional strategies that are exactly what we propose out or that we can and should be using for all of our language learners, for all of our learners. But I wanted to also call out that that there's also component to when you're actually physically interfacing with the data and with the tool. Now, Google Translate is a great option that you can be using and you can be interfacing throughout. But some of the tool providers are really digging in and thinking about how do they make their offering that much more accessible for our multi-language learners. And I just want to share what could that look like? What is that actually sort of looking like as we're working through. So here is a free activity that Tuva provides. And I just kind of want to showcase up a couple of the things that Tuva has been working on as we're thinking about this, just to kind of plant a seed. So this is a free activity. You can absolutely jump into Tuva and use this. This is about urban heat islands. So if you're thinking of, if you're working in an earth science unit or you're looking at human impacts, this could be great. These data come from NASA and others, and there's so much great resources out there about urban heat islands. Okay, but what I want to showcase is a couple different things that Tuva has been working on to build out the accessibility of their tools, which I just think is a cool thing for us to think about as we are trying to think about how to work with our classrooms where we have students that speak a variety of different languages. So we can translate the tool interface. And Tuva's had this for quite a while. So you can actually change the interface. So as students are jumping in to work with the data, then all of the sort of surrounding bits, like asking you to bring, drag and drop your axes, your different variables, your attributes over to the axes. So the kind of instructional surround and what we call the different graph types and the different opportunities, the features can be translated into Spanish. And that's great. That's a huge first step. But we also have the names of our attributes and the values in them and the instructions that the students are working through and things like that. And this is where it's really exciting, this next step that they've done, where they have sort of in building out more accessibility components, they have changed, you can change the text size, but we are here, I am talking about languages. And so they have integrated in with this Google Translate directly into the Tuva system. And let's pick Spanish again. And then we're going to wait and see how it works. Don't you love it when you go live and then it's not working the way that it had been working when you first jumped in? Okay, let's see. Let's go into Spanish and see if I can get it to powered by Google translate to dun da 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 change into Spanish. Just a second. Okay, folks. One moment. Let's go back. This is great. Then you can see how I got here. And we can see, oh, no, that is not what I want. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing for a quick moment so that I can pull this up again. How's your Monday going? Because this is how my Monday's going. Okay, let me pull this back over here. Let me screen share again so you can see what I can see so that we can all be on the same page. Da, 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 da. Chiva has great collections. This happened to be like the URL that came up fastest when I Googled because, yep, I'm one of those people. I don't type in all the whole URL as we're going forward. Okay, so I got here, content library, went to free lessons, clicked on urban heat islands and redlining as an option. Let's see if it's going to play nice. So just as a reminder with Tuva, as a teacher with a teacher account, you can look at the overview of the learning objectives and all these different pieces. But I want to actually like get in and try this activity as a student because this is where the really cool things are happening. And I'm hoping it is now going to work for us this time. When we jump in here and look at sort of the student view, like what the students are going to see, and we opt into Spanish. There we go. Okay, thanks for sticking with me. So we got it. So what I just want to point out is that I changed in this step, I changed the instructional components into Spanish. And now this is really interesting. So we have all the like instructional components for the students to read. The attributes have now been translated over into Spanish. And we can keep going through this activity as a student. What you might notice is that the surrounds of the instructions of the features within Tuva have not been changed, but we can change that up if we click over here and go to language and go to Espanol. And so now with these two components together, your students whose maybe their primary language is Spanish, we now have an opportunity for them to work with the data set, with the instructions and all of the different components together in Spanish. So they're able to interface with those numbers, but the surround is in their primary language for English language learners. And so are they working on it? Yes. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than nothing? Absolutely. So exciting. So just wanted to share that up. Thanks for sticking with me as I like hit some hiccups, but what a great way to be like, oh, we just troubleshoot. We just start over. We just refresh. We just sort of kick back and keep exploring things. And it didn't take all that much time, right? For me to sort of click out, click back in, try some different things. Now I know like which buttons not to hit and different things like that. The answer is, actually, let me screen share to show you guys this. The answer is I had clicked out of a bar right here across the top, this Google Translate bar. I had clicked that X. Yeah, not so good. That is not what you want to do if you want this to be available to you so that the whole surround is translating into Spanish. Now, I do not work for Tuva. Super support what they are doing. If you have questions about the feature that I just talked about, please reach out to support@tuvalabs.com. They can actually answer your questions. But I just wanted to showcase up yes, numbers are numbers, but when we're thinking about supporting our learners working with data, And in our classroom, there where they're speaking multiple different languages, this is the kind of thing that you can be looking for as another support for your learners of making that data accessible so that all of our students can get in and work with the data and make sense of the data and make meaning of the data and really practice those skills and not get tripped up on the language piece of it. So please reach out. Other tool platforms are using this. As a reminder, we are tool agnostic and we list sort of benefits and limitations of the different tools. There's no one tool that solves it all. So I'll put a link to that in the comments for this live below as well. But just wanted to kind of showcase up some of the work that's been doing to plant some seeds and give you some options. When I was student teaching, I had 55 students in my class and we had 19 languages. And so something like this would have been super helpful for me as I was trying to support those different students across those different languages. Do they have 19? No, but Tuva's working on 9. A bunch of other projects are translating into Spanish or to other additional primary languages in their area. So really take a look in your area and what you're using and what curriculum you're using to see what's available for you, for your students and their language needs. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. We are off to the National Council of Social Studies Teachers Conference, 104th conference this weekend in Boston. Super exciting. And I can't wait to be like gathering lots of ideas and sharing them out with you next week when I'm back for my live next Monday. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful week.